When I was a new mother and I rejoined the job, I was pumping out milk in the office and I realized that many people were objectioning to it. Finally, I was told it is very awkward for people around to see breast milk in the bottle kept in the common fridge of the office. And I was told not to do it and to go back home and manage my child. You cannot have the better paid job or that top position in the company because a man of a higher caliber than you would be claiming it. The questions that was asked to me, if you are going to do the business, who's going to take care of the children? Have you ever thought about it, that why these things happen? I have a question for you. Name a legacy business that was started by a woman entrepreneur. Even you will get confused just like me. Hi, I'm Iti Rawat. I am Director of Think Hall Training and Consultancy and Director of WEFT Foundation, which is helping women entrepreneurs to come up. I'm here today to talk about lack of aspiration in women and how we can solve that. Starting from a small town, I had a dream of starting a job, a typical dream, right? But when I entered corporate, there were a lot of things that a woman has to face. I realized that there is gender biasness towards women about how they are dressing up, how their behavior is, how their mannerism is, not to talk about the gender pay gap, etc., etc. On top of that, by the time a woman reaches the mid-senior management level, about the age of 30-35 years, the childbirth care comes totally on women and also the household chores. They end up leaving their jobs and finally quitting working. Nowadays, you have seen many videos and pictures coming where moms are carrying their babies to their work. You have seen moms carrying their babies to parliament, etc. as well. But imagine a life some 10 years back where when I was a new mother and I rejoined the job, I was pumping out milk in the office and I realized that many people were objectioning to it. Finally, I was told that it is very awkward for people around to see breast milk in the bottle kept in the common fridge of the office. And I was told not to do it and to go back home and manage my child instead of coming to office and working. Nowadays, if we talk about it, it sounds very funny, right? But it has happened to me. And I'm sure that many women like me who had given birth to a newborn babies, they would have faced the same situation. On one side of the story, you have to breastfeed the child for 2 years. And on the other side of the story, you have to join the job where you are kept away from your children. Let's talk about it, that where all it started from, right? In 1970s, women actually started working. They started going out for jobs. People started managing double income households. And then suddenly 80s came, where men started seeing the women who have joined the jobs are actually coming and taking over their roles, their positions, etc. Needless to say that there was a lot of gender parity at that point of time in the corporate world. We realized that the women also lacked ambitions because they were told that you cannot earn more, you cannot have the better paid job or that top position in the company because a man of a higher caliber than you would be claiming it. So we have heard about Tatas, Birlas and Ambanis, but have you ever heard about a woman who has already established her legacy in the business? We are lacking women entrepreneurs in India thoroughly. Currently, if I look at the statistics, there are around 20 million women entrepreneurs existing in India, which is a very, very small part of the overall business ecosystem. And on top of that, out of these women, only 2% of them would be a funded business. Have you ever thought about it, that why these things happen? Imagine that you are already in a job, jumping out of job and starting your own business. It itself is a big move. Women are expected to take care of the house as well as the child. Secondly, women entrepreneurs are not seen as too ambitious because from the childbirth, a woman is raised stating that, beta, you have to grow up and get married to somebody or bring up a child. The ambitions goes down. On top of that, we don't have enough women entrepreneur role models to see and get inspired from. I myself have been doing business for past 10 plus years, but I've had my set of challenges too. When I started working, I was at peak of my career and I left my very fancy corporate job to start my own venture. Initially, everything went well, and there was a phase where I said that it is now time to start growing. I was looking for funds, and I knocked almost all the VCs and bank doors to get some additional funds to have that growth in my business. And that is where I realized that there is a lot of gender bias lenses that people see you from. When I went to the VCs, the questions that was asked to me, that is it your hobby? They asked me questions like, if you are going to do the business, who's going to take care of the children? Even for banks, the kind of collaterals and the projects and the paperwork that they were asking was completely insane. And there was no direction. There was nobody to help you out at that point of time to support you to get the right funding. So we started a NGO called as WEFT Foundation, where we started supporting women entrepreneurs. Now we are a big group of 5,000 plus women entrepreneurs who's helping each other. We become each other's vendors and clients, and we also provide the support and ecosystem that is existing. Apart from WEFT, there are many other incubation centers, accelerations, which are now supporting women entrepreneurship in India. You know why women entrepreneurship is important? Because currently, every woman entrepreneur is creating at least 5 to 6 on an average jobs in India. If we suppose take this 20 million women entrepreneurs and increase it by 56 million by the coming few years, we can actually eradicate unemployment in India. This is not just the requirement, but it is also a societal ask, because once a woman becomes financially independent, these kind of societies have happier children and their growth is also better. Today, if you ask a man to rate themselves on the confidence level, he might end up rating himself 8 to 9 out of 10. But if you ask a woman to rate themselves on their confidence level, they might end up rating themselves around 5 to 6 out of 10. The reason is that they have been brought up in such a way that the ambitions are still lacking overall. So if you are a brother, father, and a husband, and you have a woman in your household, help them build their confidence, help them build their own legacy, and bring them forward. It is their time to shine and build their own financial independence. Let not gender decide that how successful you can become.